Hi, third graders. It's Miss Rayborn here. Before we get started on how to draw a face in proportion, we need to talk a little bit about what that means. So let's look at an example. If I can get my computer to work, so sorry. And I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger, and you'll see why here in a second. So we're going to talk about how to draw a face in proportion. What that means is how do you draw each part and piece in relation to the whole thing? Okay. Now, when we talk about a head or a face, we're really talking about two separate things. Your face is from your forehead to your chin, right? Now, when we start to draw things in proportion, and we draw, like over here, the shape of the head. Ooh, so sorry. We're talking about the whole head from the top way up here to the bottom way down here. So when we talk about how to draw something in proportion, what we're saying is, where are the eyes on the whole head? Where is the nose in relation to where the eyes are? How big is the mouth compared to the whole head or the eyes or where the ears go? It's all connected together. That's what drawing in proportion means. The size or shape of something in relation to the whole thing. So as we start to stock and draw our self-portraits, we're going to start by just drawing some examples of portraits. And we're going to work on this for 2 days because there's actually a lot to learn. What I want to do before we start on our sketching assignment is I want to talk to you just a little bit about some different parts of the head and the face. And the easiest way for us to do it was to do it with a video like this. So the first thing is that people don't often realize that your eyes are in the center of your head. So I'm going to take my glasses off because I want you to see what I'm saying. This is the top of my head up here, right? And here's the bottom of my chin. This is not just my face. My face would have been from my hairline to my chin. I'm talking about from the top of my head to my chin. That's my whole head. My eyes are in the middle of my head, right? Not in the middle of my face because that's a little bit smaller, but they are in the middle of my head. So we start by drawing the line for our eyes in the middle of our head. Our eyes are half the distance, or our nose, pardon me, is half the distance from our eyes to our chin. That's kind of not surprising, right? If I have here, my nose is about half the distance between here and here, which we're going to talk about. The next thing is that your mouth, is about half the distance from your nose. So if I line up to my nose, you'll notice my mouth is about half the distance from my nose to my chin. Okay? Now, our job today is that we're going to draw the lines, the proportion lines for drawing a face. So we're going to find the middle of our face going this direction with a vertical line. We're going to find the center of our head with a horizontal line, going from side to side like this. And then we're going to find the line half the distance from the eyes to the chin, which is where the nose is, half of the distance from the nose to the chin, which is where the mouth is. And then we're going to do some drawing of our eyes. Now, when we draw our eyes, we're going to draw our whole eye socket onto the line. And it's going to look a little bit strange to start with, but I want us to kind of feel and discover why we do that. Okay. Now, when we draw an eye socket, it's really large on our face. It's like this big, you guys. But I want you to do something with me. This might seem a little bit strange, but I want you to take your pointer finger and I want you to put it right on your eyebrow. And I want you to tap with me across the top of your eyebrow. Now, really gently, I want you to feel right there. Do you feel that's the edge of your eye socket? You can actually feel the bone there. So tap around the side, and you're going to find that the edge of the eye socket is where your cheekbone is. Do you feel it right here? Okay, and tap back around. Now, the last thing I want you to do, and I want you to do this really carefully, okay, is I want you to feel where your eyeball sits inside of your eye socket. Now, if you go right down below your eyebrow and very gently, I want you to feel, do you feel your eyeball and how it's sitting inside of your eye socket? Okay, now that's going to help us. It may seem a little bit strange that we just did that, but when we start to draw on the next slide, It's going to help you understand why the eye socket is so large, because when we start to draw them, they're going to look kind of funny, almost like a Halloween mask or something, how big they are. But I want you to have that connection of feeling on your face how large that eye socket is. That's why we have to start with something so large. Okay? So, click on over to the next slide, gather up your art supplies. You need a sketchbook, you need a pencil. If you have a ruler, that's awesome. Hopefully you do. If you don't, you can use the edge of a book or something like that. And we're going to start by creating the guidelines for drawing a face. We'll find the center line of the face this way, vertically, up and down. We'll find the center of your whole head from the very top of your head to the bottom of your chin, which is where the eyes go. We're going to learn to measure so that we can find the correct placement for your nose. Your nose is half of the distance between your eyes and your chin. And then we're going to learn to find and measure the correct distance for your mouth, which will be half of the distance between your nose and your chin is where your mouth is going to go. We're going to draw some eye sockets in, and we're going to draw our eyes. That's our sketchbook job for today. And then we're going to take a break because, as you'll see, that's a lot of hard work. And we'll pick up how to draw a nose, a mouth, eyes, ears, hair, all of that stuff in our next week of art. So click on over to the next slide, gather your supplies, and head on over to the video about how to draw a face in proportion. Please know that you can stop and pause the video anytime that you need to. Also, that this is a practice, meaning it's not going to be perfect. Miss Rayborn's isn't going to be perfect. And I've been drawing things like this for 10 years and trying to learn and teach kids how to draw them. So please remember to be kind to yourself as you're drawing today. It's just a practice. It's not even drawing of you. It's just a face, right? So gather your supplies, click on over to the next slide, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.